We're cooking it up in here. Look at that. It is wonderful. Oh, this is so pretty. Ooh, looks scrumptious. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Vera Stewart, and welcome to the VeryVera Show. You know, this time of year, we're all thinking about what our New Year's resolutions are going to be. And I love to go back to all of my planners from years ago to see maybe what my goals were for those years, and am I still working on those resolutions. So today, we're going to talk about healthy eating and getting those energy levels up. You know, I'm really into that. And so I have a very special guest. Kathy Izard from Charlotte, North Carolina will be joining me today. She's a great friend, she's a book author, and she's also into eating healthy. So we're gonna make some wonderful recipes today. We're gonna start with a vegetable Tian. It is a colorful dish, uses zucchini, squash, tomatoes. It's a wonderful side dish. And then I'm gonna do a little energy bite that's made with peanuts and oats. It's great to have in a Ziploc bag in your desk for a little quick bite to eat. And in Vera's Corner today, I'm gonna give you my top 10 reasons why you need to stay fit and stay active. So we've got a lot to do. I can't wait to introduce you to Kathy, so let's get going. I'm so happy to introduce everyone to Kathy Izard. Kathy is my good friend from Charlotte, North Carolina. She is an author. She is a motivational speaker. She has brought transformation to the Charlotte area in homelessness, housing, and mental health. I'm just so proud to know you, Kathy.
Well, thanks, Vera.
You've done so much in your area, in the Charlotte community. It's just amazing. And you know, your dad said, dream big, do good. And I have dream on the wall in the cottage here.
Yeah, we share that. Yeah.
We do. And so there's a lot, I think, between us that we've connected on through the years. But tell me, how in the world did you go from graphic design to being a book author?
Right, in 2007, I was a graphic designer, I was a mom, I was a volunteer at a soup kitchen, but I kind of had this voice in my head always that my dad said, you can do anything, really anything. And I didn't think that my graphic design business was really kind of changing the world. And I ended up that year in 2007 quitting my job and going to work for the soup kitchen where I was a volunteer. I ended up leading a program called Homeless to Homes, where we really started giving homeless people the one thing they needed, which was a home.
And that was new. That whole concept at that time was new.
We were trying to do all this good, but really housing is what really changes and ends homelessness. So I ended up writing a book about that because we not only started the pilot program, but we raised $10 million in the recession in 2008 to build an entire apartment building for people experiencing homelessness.
So that was the 100-story home.
So that is what the 100-story home is about. It's about this process of quitting my job, of starting the pilot program, of raising the money, and really understanding that in that process of helping people find homes, I found my own way home. Found what I needed, I found what I was trying to do. And then the book, really, the 100-story home, is about what's calling you. Because I think something's whispering to each of us that we maybe don't want to hear it, but there's something that's calling us each to do something, whether it's as big as a building or just small random acts of kindness.
Well, and you've also written a children's book.
I did. I wrote a children's book based on one of the readers of the 100-story home. She was a children's author librarian, and she said, I think you should make the 100-story home a children's book. And it took me a long time to figure out how to condense 250 pages into a children's story. But we did, and that book, A Good Night for Mr. Coleman, is based on one of the real people that we housed, Eugene Coleman, and it tells the story. It has great pictures by a Southern artist, Evelyn Henson, and it teaches kids that one person can make a difference, and kind of what my dad told me, to dream big and do good.
Well, tell us now about The Last Ordinary Hour. And for those of you that have not read the book yet, this is very much about her husband, Charlie.
Yes.
He's just a dear friend as well. So tell us about this book and what's behind
this
it.
book really started out maybe just my own journaling of what happened in 2013. So right after we'd opened that big apartment building, My husband had a heart attack, and by all accounts, everyone says he should be dead. I will tell you now, spoiler alert, he's still alive. He's still here today.
He is very much alive.
He's very much alive, and we're going to cook his favorite recipe today. But I wrote this book because I think it wasn't just a heart attack. It turns out he has a rare disease, and so we're living with that rare disease. It's called spontaneous coronary artery dissection. It means that any artery in his body can split at any time. So it could be his carotid artery, his femoral, at any time he could have a stroke, another heart attack, and die. So how do you live with that? How do you live in this constant fear? And I realized as I was kind of journaling and writing to myself and trying to work my way through this story, I think that happens to all of us, right? And I mean, not maybe a rare disease, not a heart attack, but something blindsiding hits us, whether it's a diagnosis we didn't expect, a divorce, any kind of death. We all have just lived through, a blindsiding pandemic, COVID.
Exactly.
And there's things that we don't see coming, and we think we can be in control in our lives. We think we can plan. And I think the last ordinary hour is kind of our experience of realizing, well, we're not in control, but there's lots of ways to live with joy and to make sure that every day is a gift, and make sure that we're living as if every day is a gift.
Oh man, well, it is such a great book, and we're going to get in the kitchen now.
Yay.
And we're going to put together one of Charlie's favorite dishes. It's a vegetable Tian.
He's a super healthy eater, probably because of his heart attack, but he was a healthy eater anyway, so we're going to make this.
Okay, so y'all come back with us. We're going to get in the kitchen and get started on that dish. Welcome back, everybody, and it is smelling so good in this kitchen. If you're just joining me, I'm with Kathy Izard. She's from Charlotte, North Carolina. She's an author. She's a motivational speaker, and now I've learned that you're a fantastic cook.
Oh, I don't know, fantastic is a stretch, Vera, but this is something I can make. It's one of Charlie's favorite recipes.
All right, so you were busy during the break. There's no resting on the VeryVera
No,
show.
I know, you've been putting me to work.
All right, so what did you do to get us ready for this?
So what we've done so far is we chopped a medium onion. We had that ready. We drizzled olive oil in the pan and then put the onions in there. And then kind of the pro tip, I guess, is that you put the onions in the oven on 425 and you have them cooking and getting ready, getting kind of this nice brown while we chop the zucchini. So I'm chopped up the zucchini, the squash, and then the tomatoes. And so now we're going to get ready to layer them in the pan.
All right, so this isn't a race, right?
This is not a race, and we can't, but you like to alternate the colors. It's a very pretty dish. It's all, and you can make it any time of the year, which is really nice, because you don't need those fresh summer tomatoes. And there's no real magic to it. You can put in a yellow and 2 green, and then you can do it up. So let's do that. We'll do a yellow 2 green pattern, and then you sneak in a tomato.
Oh, I love this. And the thing is, it used to be that if you were doing things with zucchini and squash, like back when my grandmother would have been making this dish, she would have made this only in the summer.
No, we can make this all year long. And the tomatoes are cooking, so you don't need those really fresh summer tomatoes that can kind of,
all
just
right,
pretty.
So what kind of tomatoes are these?
These, I believe, you can either use Roma or Campari tomatoes.
Okay, so I think these are Campari is what Donna got for us today. Oh, wow. All right, so why is this Charlie's favorite dish, and why is this healthy? Because I'm thinking our gratin, generally speaking, there would be a bunch of cheese and butter and all of that.
And you're absolutely right. Okay, my husband cannot get enough vegetables. He loves, and I actually hate vegetables. Well, hate's a strong word, but this is something that we both like together. This recipe was originally covered in all kinds of cheese on the top, and I had to find a way that we both would eat it.
Okay.
So this, I think when you caramelize the onions in the bottom like that, it gives it a lot of flavor without the cheese. And I think that's one reason why we both like it. We have 4 daughters. They all eat it. We're now adding to our family. I have one son-in-law and another son-in-law to be, so they all have had this dish before.
And we've got a baby on the way.
A baby. I'm going to be a grandmother. I was learning that your grandmother name is Granny V. I love that.
Granny V.
I don't know what my grandmother name is going to be. I heard that you don't pick it.
And I didn't pick it, and it was so natural when Cord said, "Do you want, Granny V? Would you like to
Love
meet
Granny
me?"
V.
And I was so thrilled with that name. But these are the healthy things that we're talking about today.
Yes.
That as everyone gets ready for their New Year's resolutions, and what is that going to be? Just taking a dish that you've made for years that had a lot of things in it that maybe aren't quite as healthy, and the fresh basil.
Yeah, you just put that on the top.
That goes on the top of this. Really, it's just a way to introduce, because for me, and in Vera's Corner today, we're going to talk about some of my health tips, is just kind of rethinking that you don't need to eat quite as much.
No.
And you don't have to have all the extra stuff.
You don't. And I love cheese. Like, I used to cook with cheese on everything. But we're going to put a little salt and pepper on top to give it a little more
while
flavor.
she's finishing that, like I said, in Vera's Corner, we're going to go over some health tips. And then I'm going to do the cooking in the next one, and we're going to do these little energy bites.
Oh, those sound
you're gonna
great.
love.
I think
Charlie will like
I think
those
he's
too.
going to love those
All right,
too.
so y'all come back with us after the break. We're going to put this back in the oven. Vera's Corner is sponsored by TaxSlayer. It's your refund. Go get it. Are you looking for ways to stay healthier, maybe lose a few pounds this year? Well, I've got some tips today in Vera's Corner to get you started on the right path. Get rid of tempting food in the house. If you have to plan for your weak moments, if it's around and you want to indulge, you most likely will. Make meal prepping a priority. If you reach your lunch break or the end of the workday and have prepped meals available, you're less likely to go out to eat, which saves on calories and dollars. Choose a day of the week to make your plan. Do the grocery shopping and cook. You may choose to do all of these on the same day or break up tasks to make it more manageable. Find an exercise activity you look forward to. Running isn't for everyone. Try riding a bike, Zumba, or even skipping rope. There are many different options for incorporating movement into your schedule, and you never know what could become your new favorite. Share your goal with those you love, whether it's your immediate family or your social media followers. Sharing your goals with others is a good way to stay accountable when it gets hard. Finally, accept that this is a new lifestyle, not a short-term sprint to good health. Best of luck with your good health goals. Welcome back, everybody. And Kathy, I'm having a great time.
I love cooking with you.
Well, and the thing is, I don't know how to write a book like you do. And you thought you didn't know how to cook, and here we are
cooking together. It's great.
Doing it together. It's awesome. Well, this is one of my favorite little snacks, and I know y'all always have nuts and like the really, really dark chocolate.
Yes, those are our
things like that. So actually, this recipe we could add in some dark chocolate. I just thought of that. But this is an energy bite that you can keep in a Ziploc bag, just like in your briefcase or in your desk.
Perfect.
Or, in the drawer at home. They freeze really well. We use Georgia peanuts, of course, in it. I did a show this fall at the peanut farm and learned so much about the harvesting, and just I'm loving making these recipes that much more. But what I did ahead, and while my pan is kind of dirty over here, is I took the oatmeal, roasted peanuts, and just the salted peanuts, and just got that toasted in the pan. It took about 5 minutes. So I'm going to ask you to add in the cinnamon, flaxseed, and salt to that mixture.
I think I can handle that.
And while she's doing that, I'm going to put vanilla extract, honey. Just the ingredients in this.
I know, that looks great.
Oh, I can already smell that cinnamon too.
I know. We get the benefit of that. Everything today has smelled so good.
All right, so this is Georgia Grinders. This is another Georgia company that I love this peanut butter because it's not so super sweet.
Right, it's smooth too. It's not chunky.
Right, and so this works well. And all I'm doing here is just getting all of this heated through. These are dates that have been finely chopped. So let me turn that up just a little bit. And I'll ask you to just gradually add that water into this.
got the harder job on this one. Mine was a little easier, just to add that.
Well, you had to cut up all those vegetables
Well, that's
earlier.
true. Yes, I did.
Okay, so I'm just heating this through, and then the recipe, once you've mixed all this together, says to, refrigerate it to get it a little easier to work with.
Okay.
But you don't mind getting your hands dirty, right?
No, in the break, I took my rings off. I'm ready to roll.
All right, so this is just getting heated up to get it nice and warm. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. We'll add this over here. Woo!
That is hot. You're going to stick your hands in first.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this together. And, these are the kinds of snacks that, we do that camp in the summer with the children, and
Right.
this summer will
I bet
be
they love.
19 years
Oh my
that we have been
gosh.
doing
Well, I bet
this.
the kids love these. Do you serve those every summer?
They love it, and not only that, they learned that they can make some of these things that Mom is always having to go. I think we can work with this now. Let me make sure we're not going to burn ourselves.
Okay, no, we'll be all right. We're tough.
They can make these things themselves. So let me just kind of start here and see what's going to happen. Okay, so I'll let you roll in the coconut.
Okay.
And I'll make the ball.
Okay.
So, all fresh ingredients, it just, works well for them to actually get involved. And needless to say, it would work a little bit better if you refrigerated it, for a moment. But you get the gist of the size of the ball that you want it to be.
Perfect. Just kind of little poppers.
And and on a Sunday afternoon where, maybe coming up in the next few weeks, if the weather's bad, this could be something that you could get in the kitchen. One day you're going to be doing this with your grandchildren.
We will. It'll be so fun. Well, I can do it with my daughters now.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are going to keep working on this during the break. I might actually refrigerate this for just a moment. When we come back, we're going to put it all together. You're going to learn more about how to follow Kathy on Facebook and Instagram, learn more about where everybody's reading the book, and we'll put all this out and put a presentation together. So come back with us in just a few minutes. All right, Kathy, we've done a great job.
I know, it's been so fun cooking with you.
The only thing we're missing is Charlie.
Exactly, and he'd be like here. He's like between
Y'all,
us.
he's the
very
tallest
tall.
man.
Yes, he is.
This is definitely a Charlie plate.
That is a Charlie meal.
That's a Charlie snack.
Yes.
Absolutely. So what we've done today is put together a healthy meal that you don't necessarily have to, sacrifice flavor.
No, this is all very
or
flavorful.
Presentation to do something this great. So like quickly walking back through, this vegetable Tian is a great side dish. It uses vegetables that you can find all the time.
Any
and
time of the year.
You can put an eggplant in there.
You can. If you can't, I've done it where I couldn't get the squash, and I did it all tomatoes and eggplant. You can really put anything in.
Oh, wow. And the fresh basil just makes that. And then we just pan-seared a piece of salmon. I love it medium, so it just kind of slides off. And then just some angel hair pasta with a little bit more olive oil and some more of the fresh basil. And then I threw in just a quick salad,
Beautiful.
arugula, some more tomatoes, some Parmesan, dried blueberries.
Oh, nice.
Kind of different there. And then the energy bites, they do really make better circles if
Yeah,
you
but
do.
they look beautiful. Look at that. Who doesn't want to eat that?
If you want to get messy, you can do it at room temperature. But those are just, 2 bite size are just perfect. So just, put it on the table. The thing about a meal like this is if you don't cook that salmon all the way, this is where the catering roots come in, you can hold that like in a warming cooler.
Oh, okay.
Along with the other parts to this so that you don't have to be in the kitchen at the last minute. I think people sometimes shy away from fish because they think it's like a last minute presentation, but your warming box, and for me, my Wolf warming box is terrific for that. All right, enough about the food. Let's end this up with how to learn more about Kathy Izard. Certainly on your Instagram, you can go back a ways, all the way back to when you were putting together that first home in Charlotte is there, just everything about that. But I love the fact that when you put this new book out, that a friend was on vacation, and tell
She
us what
was.
happened.
This book just came out in May, and I had a friend who knew that I went to the University of Texas at Austin, and she was in Austin. So she took the book and she held it out in front of the UT Tower and sent it to me, so I put it on Instagram. Well, then all kinds of people who were reading it, over 100 posts got placed between May and this summer in Uganda, in Paris, in Antigua, in Burkina Faso. I mean,
I didn't even know where that was.
I know, I had to look that one up
I had
too.
to Google
So
that.
places I haven't even been, my book has been. I love that. But it was really great to have readers all over the world reading it and sharing the photos. So that was really fun. You can look on the Instagram and see those.
Well, and the other thing I want to point out, Kathy, is that you started this process right after your 50th birthday.
Yeah, I published this, The 100-Story Home, right when I was 50. I never anticipated being an author. I didn't anticipate having 3 books. I didn't anticipate being on a cooking show with you, right? So I think women who think, oh, they have big dreams for their kids, but they've forgotten what their own were, like, it's never too late to do what you were meant to do and to dream big. And
that's what I think, and your dad told you that when you were a little girl.
He did.
And you're still living that.
Yes, and I actually put it on the back of my children's book, you can do anything, really anything, which is what my dad used to tell me. So I love for women and for their children to know that and to dream big and do good.
Well, dream big, do good, which is certainly representative of that with you. And for all of you viewers that are in the Charlotte area, that's a new market for us.
I know, I love that the show has made it there.
One of your very own right here on the VeryVera show. Kathy, thank you so much
thank you,
for
Vera.
sharing your
It's been great
story
to be
and
here
being
with you.
with us.
Thank you.
And for all of you, remember, no matter what you do, do it in good taste. Come back and join us next week.